for the first couple of minutes. We try to be in a seated lotus position for the sake of pictures, so the world don't think I put people to sleep. And then after that, for those who like to lie down, and if you guys can lie down, a rare hallway pass from the teacher due to exigent circumstances. And for those who can remain in the lotus seated position, it would be ideal so that you remain awake, aware, alive, conscious, and breathing normally.
Did you lock the door?
Yes.
Whole technique. As Buddha reminds us of the word Buddha, one which knows, and with the basic meditation, just know that the rising and falling of our abdomen, breathing in, we know that we're breathing in, breathing out, we know that we are breathing out. As we sit here, you will hear all sorts of noises and sounds, the crashing waves, the birds, the leaves, the palm trees, the plains. All of these remind us of the true nature of reality of life, the true nature of reality of where we are at. And if I put you in Times Square, you would hear a bunch of noisy, in a rush, businessmen and women trying to go to work. That's the true nature of reality of New York. So if you can meditate through environments like this and New York, you can meditate anywhere in the world, even in a zoo. The true nature of reality of monkeys, as we observe the monkey mind. Remember that during meditation, if thoughts arises from the past breakups, past trauma, anything that reminds you of the past, just simply observe them and smile. As fast as it arises is as fast as it will cease. And don't get ourselves into trouble by attaching onto them. We don't want to analyze the past. We don't want to ask why it happened, how it happened. Any thoughts of the future, bills that you have to pay coming up, does not matter in this moment. In this moment, I am here. In this moment, I am breathing. In this moment, I am in the here and the now, the most important thing. So with your back straight, shoulders relaxed, we enter into guided meditation of mindfulness of the breath. We will now take our first 3 deep breaths. With the competing noises and for beginners, I may put the meditation back on during this guided meditation. And you don't have to close your eyes all the time. Anytime your mind begins to jump in any way, shape, or form, if it gets way too far You can ground yourself by bringing your hands to your abdomen. And when you feel the rising and falling of the abdomen, you realize I'm back here in the present moment. Now we begin. In breath, Bud. Out breath, To. Bud. To. Bud. To. Bud. To. Bud. To. One which knows. breath, put, out, breath, hold, put, hold.
It's gonna take time. Love it on me. Adyabayo me. Anido me. Sugi adana.
As we breathe, we notice there is a small pleasure, a natural pleasure in the movements of our breath. In breath, put, out, breath, hold. Ideally, we want our postures to be straight with our back, shoulders relaxed, relaxing all of the muscles in our face. which knows. Sitting, he knows he's sitting. Breathing, he knows he's breathing. Would, oh. This time you can relax your concentration and arise from your meditation back to the sound of my voice. So we had a little bit of surprise during meditation. So see, your teacher gotta be quick, right, to save the moment. As things were unfolding to our left, I had a lot of compassion, instinct, not anger, compassion. You see, the only enemy we ever have is what? Lopa, moha, dosa. In Vietnamese, tham, sân, si. Tham, sân, si. The only enemy we ever had, and still have, unless you become fully enlightened, is greed, anger, and ignorance. So in those moments where things played out the way that it did, I had instant compassion just because I know that that person is a victim of their own enemy. When anger proliferates, that's what happens. They know not what the Lord says. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. This is why we use examples as such to tame our own anger. The intensity of our anger, the magnitude of our anger, the nature, the depth of our anger, the depth of our suffering, the depth of the ocean. An ocean of peace or an ocean of suffering you can cause to yourself. We see every day when anger arises, people lose their cool, people pull guns out, they shoot, they kill, they steal, even to their own families. We see all sorts of things play out. Ham, Sansi. So, Bhante teaches Vipassana meditation. All of us Theravada monks have to be trained in insight meditation. And though it initially, when you read it and when it is being explained to you, it's a little difficult because there's the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Slowly I inch you guys towards there, slowly. But we train you guys. What is insight meditation? It's really cool. It's the coolest thing ever, right? You see 3 things. You see the 3 marks of existence. which is dukkha, anicca. You see anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So you see impermanence, you see suffering, and then you see the non-self in any situations in life. Now, since we have a couple here, or let's use the iPhone as a prop. So if I were to see the three marks of existence, for example, in the iPhone, what would it be? Anicca, it's subject to impermanence. It won't last forever. We know that. It's subject to dukkha, suffering, meaning some days it might not turn on. Does phone suffer? Of course, yeah. Update failure, it's suffering. When students study, you're trying to update your software, right? You can't do it if you have ADHD. You're suffering. So that's dukkha in the phone. And then anatta, the non-self, meaning rarely is the phone under our control. You want it to turn on, it don't want to turn on. If it's your phone, it would listen to you, right? If it is your body, my body, you have control over your body, right? When you say this is my body, this is my body. Really? So on the days that it gets sick, do you think it's going to listen to you? Or on the exams? How about on a hot date, when it do stuff you don't want it to do? So Vipassana meditation, which is the end goal, right? Further down the road, maybe on Monday, we'll let Bhante give us a glimpse of his teachings of insight meditation. So just don't forget that. The three marks of existence in anything. In humans, in cars. Cars won't last forever. Cars are subject to change. And rarely is it under our control. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife won't last forever. So cherish every moment you have with them. They are subject to suffering. Meaning, there are days they're going to be grouchy at you. Not everything is always satisfying. Not everything is always good and dandy, like the first time you met. With that, compassion arises with deep understanding. And if you think, the last thing, anatta, if you think you can control him or her, why don't you try it, see how it works out. Subject to the non-self. Rarely is he or she under our control. Additionally, you learn mindfulness of the breath. Next on the list you will learn is the 4 protective meditation functions, which I have eased you into it already. You were made aware during lunch of death meditation. Great way to learn death, right? As you eat. When we tie all of the meditation together in situations such as that to our left, we see the true nature of reality of that instance. So what is the 4 protective meditation function? Because it protects you. It will protect you from now, forever. And as long as you hang on fast to the teachings, it is a raft. Right behind us is water. If I throw you in the water right now, you'd be in trouble if you didn't have a raft. You can only tread water for so long. You don't want to drown when life comes at you. And the teachings of the Buddha is the raft that we need to hang on to, just for a moment. to get from point A to point B. Right? Right now you're here on this island. Right behind this airport. So you pretend that right there is nirvana, the other shore. Point A, point B, or point B, point A. The first protective meditation function of which we chanted is the 9 qualities of a Buddha. 9 qualities. And tonight each of you have homework to look up the 9 qualities of the Buddha. I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to ask each person to give me 1 or 2 qualities tomorrow. So whatever your buddy says next to you, you better say something different. Thank you. We want to cultivate ourselves like the Buddha. Or even the qualities alone is desirable, right? Is ideal. Desire not as in the desire that causes suffering. Desire as in it is ideal that we want to cultivate ourselves, right? Just like being humans, one of the desirable quality is discipline, a well-disciplined human. If you're disciplined as a human, then you will know how to discipline your mind. What yields great happiness is a mind that has been brought under control, is well attended to, and well disciplined. The second protective meditation function is metta bhavana, loving kindness meditation, as it mitigates anger. Anger, si. So you've been learning the whole time. Now I'm helping you connect the dots. Metta helps you be more calm, collective, be good to yourself. It's okay to forgive yourself and to forgive others. Forgive and ask for forgiveness this holiday. It's a gift. They're all gifts. They don't cost anything, but yet so profound and so deep. Free. Gratis. The third protective meditation function is Asubha Bhavana, which is meditation on the 32 parts of the body. There's nothing more that we are attached to than our own body, right? That's why mostly women spend billions of dollars each year on dermatology. That's why the men don't look as young, because they have to afford dermatology. And the women look young because they use the dermatology. The 32 parts of the body. We learn the true nature of reality of the body, right? How it functions. What is the true nature of hair? What is the true nature of reality of our skin? You think your skin is going to be this tight forever? The elasticity? How it glows? What is the new term nowadays when it comes to skin and dermatology? You know it? It's a fish that swims in the ocean. Comes up once in a while and it air comes out of its got a little fin. What kind of fish is that? Dolphin.
It's not a fish.
Okay, well, mammal. Cold-blooded, warm-blooded. That's the new terminology nowadays, is I want dolphin skin. If you don't know what it is, if you never heard it before, Google it. Dolphin skin. Just think about it, right? It's shiny, It's always tight, right? Ah. So we're more attached onto our body than anything. Anything. And I'm teaching you all how to slowly let go of all these things that we're so attached to. We're just borrowing this body, are we not? We're just borrowing a car. We're just borrowing this mode of transportation. So while you were eating, I reserved what to say. Because what you don't want to hear while you're eating is we monks go through our training, and when we study and practice Asubha Bhavana, is they donate bodies to us. They donate bodies in Thailand, Sri Lanka, Myanmar. Okay, so monks live at temple, and they bring the body to the temple, and they're like, here you go. Kind of like how they do cadavers here in America for doctors to operate on. So we sit in front of actively decaying corpses to see the true nature of impermanence. So when the students come back and the student says, I have been studying anicca, dukkha, anatta, and the teacher will say, really? Do you see impermanence? And the student, if they've seen it, we want to hear it. What do you see? What is impermanence? And you give the teacher all sorts of examples. And what I had to tell my teacher is, I saw impermanence in this body. And the teacher's like, yeah? What about it? It was decaying. It's like vanishing. It's dissolving. It's disappearing slowly. It's changing. I mean, that's dukkha, changing. It's suffering. It's dead, but it's still suffering. All sorts of changes, left to right. And so, I don't expect you all to do that, 32 parts of the body. We see hair, the function of hair. We see nails, keratin, right? It's called keratin, a function of nails. But yet so many women do nails. That's why Vietnamese people can survive in America. Manicures, pedicures. Well, the money you could save not worrying too much about your nails, huh? It's a lot of money. It's all right. Enjoy it. Don't change. Keep the nail industry going, please. Or else they're going to put a Google review on me for these for these teachings. And finally, the fourth protective meditation function, which circles right back to death. Death meditation. Asubha Kamatana. Emphasizes time, right? The problem, the Buddha says, is we think we have time when we in fact don't. So, given said that, we're going to practice walking meditation. Because we have grass, right? And so we're going to kiss the earth with our feet during this exercise. And so I will, very easy, you put one hand over the other right in front of you. And you're going to look just about 2 to 3 feet in front of your feet. And there's typically 3 steps when you walk. Foot's coming up, we know it's coming up. Moving it forward, we know it's going forward. And the third one, which is when it makes land. When we're putting the feet down, right? So your feet, whoop, 1, 2, 3, and to the next step, 1, 2, 3. Simple, yet so peaceful and profound. How many people walk in New York and do you think they're walking mindfully? It looks something like this, right? It looks like, hey Karen, I'll call you right back. Hold on, I'm drinking my coffee real quick. Yeah, okay, hold on, I gotta press this pedestrian sign real quick. Yeah, But taxi. Sorry, across the street. Aha, ah, walking meditation. Very effective for those who are impatient. Mm. The mind was never made to multitask, one step at a time. Literally, now, right? One step at a time. And if you teach your children this, your kids this, or your friends this, hey, do some walking meditation with me. All right? Or if they're hanging out or something like that, and if you're bored and you just start doing what I'm going to demonstrate, Bante and myself going to demonstrate, your friends would be like, what's going on? In my previous talks, I had a bunch of young students behind me doing walking meditation as I'm giving the teachings. And it just looked like we were in the Cool Kids Club. You know what that's called? Nirvana. It just did. Out on the beach, out in the ocean, they're walking on the sand, the teacher's giving a Dhamma talk. Looks like young arahants still on the path to Buddhahood. Beautiful scenery. So today, let's do that. It will wake us up. It will get your digestive system going, right? And it will be a good introduction for knowing walking meditation. When you leave on Monday, right? For those who have to leave on Monday, okay, and those who want to continue down the road, this will not be foreign to you, as you're given all of the tools in your toolbox. And down the line, when you're skillful, you can just select the urgent teachings and instructions. And I'm catching myself doing too much. I'm catching myself doing things too fast. Walk. Come. Sit. Breathe. Did you know how the Buddha taught? When he taught mindfulness meditation back 2,564 years ago, you know what he did? Come. Sit. Breathe. Don't ask any questions. I'm not like that, don't worry. The Buddha really didn't have a lot of time. Then he traveled to the next, and so on, right? So the number of people that he led into stream entry, Sotapanna, probably 500,000. Don't worry, you all get there. That's my job. So let us rise from our sitting position in preparation for walking meditation. Move this back there. Let's move this one. This one's live. It's on right now. Let's move it all the way back there so we can capture everyone. Here. Line right here, right? So one of you can grab this line up and down. Okay. That way you guys can see me. So why don't we guys start that way, and you guys can look this way. So we'll do that way. So my cord is a little short because I don't have my cordless, wireless one. So I ideally hands right, front over left or left over right doesn't matter. Left over right. Left to over right. Very relaxed position, right? Very relaxed. It's okay when you lose a little bit of balance when you do it, but I'm going to demonstrate. Right foot up, push forward, right foot down. And to the next one. Bande Varapanyor, you wanted to start your walking meditation as I'm talking, so we have a good demonstration here from Bante. As you guys observe Bante here, as you get better and better on each step, you will realize, wow, I'm walking mindfully for the first time, grounding with Mother Nature. So it's just one foot over this. No wrong way to do it. Just know when you're doing it. Do with each step. When your foot is raised, just know that, just note that, my foot is raised. And each turn that you make, any turn, 90-degree turn, if you're turning, you basically can walk all around this area, even to the cement you can change, the feeling of the texture of the ground, and just enjoy walking. So at this time, you guys can take your first step, 2-3 feet right in front of us. We need not to occupy how our feet is looking or if we're doing it right. Just enjoy the natural steps, the pleasures in the steps. I am here in the moment. I am walking like the Buddha. After his enlightenment, the Buddha continued to do walking meditation. After becoming a fully enlightened being, he still walked just like this. When your mind begins to jump, you try to feel what it is we're stepping on. Is the grass dry? Is the grass wet? Is there a raised position? Are there ants? When we fully kiss the earth with our feet, we know. Buddho, one which knows. Don't forget to breathe mindfully too. Sometimes we're too focused. We forget to breathe.
everyone to start to make your way towards the concrete to change your just mindfully walk there, nice and slow, so that you can feel the texture of the cement and notice when things change, we connect with impermanence. Okay, at this time you can relax your concentration and arise from your meditation. And I'd like for everyone to come have a seat on the wall here at the ocean. Tyler. So now we do some feedback. Look how well I'm choreographing this, right? Like I've been doing this for like 20 years, right? It's not. I've actually never done walking meditation with students out here before. I just get creative as they go along. So questions in regards to the meditations in the breath, the explanation of the 4 protective meditation functions, and lastly, the walking meditations. Maybe we're so exhausted that we don't have any questions, Venerable. Or maybe there's food coma. We're barely awake. This summer, right? This summer we're gonna do meditation, but where? On the water. How? Paddleboard. Ah. Why? So we lose weight. Ah, and exercise, right? And mindfulness. See, in Thailand, they do this with young monks. In Thailand, how do they teach young monks to be mindful, especially walking meditation? Because they know that when walking meditation is over, they're gonna go back to YouTube anyways. Is that they put the monks on right here, perfect example, right here, the 2x4s. So imagine if I put you on, if it was flat, it's not flat. If this was flat and I put you on there and I tell you walk from there to there, I guarantee you, you're going to be very mindful. You're gonna fall. Oh, that's a rock. You're gonna be very mindful. Mindfulness walking curbs depression, especially when you're 7 feet up off the ground, 7 or 8 feet off the ground. That's how they train young monks in Thailand. So we apply the same methods, right? But I don't want to get sued. So we do it out in the water on a paddleboard. So we stand on the paddleboard, we learn about balance. We mindfully, paddle, paddle, paddle. We stand. All right. We're not gonna walk, we're just gonna stand. And then we'll go into lotus position as we were. And then we focus on our breathing on a nice cool day like this. How awesome is that? Bande, would you like to have any words, or are you good absorbing the scenery? I think you're having a conversation with our rebirth bird. Bande.
Water. Breathing. It's not so complicated after all. It's a good time to die. Instead of relying on our complicated thinking, we can rely on our mindful breathing, mindful walking, mindful seeing. Doesn't matter what we are hearing or what we are seeing, just hearing at this moment is enough. And we don't need to be in a constant state of chasing certain flavors. I like this, I don't like that. It doesn't matter right now. Just sitting, breathing, seeing colors, hearing sounds, and that's enough. That's your own little enlightenment, brought to you by the 5 senses. Just to refresh, to restart each moment, relying less and less on complicated thinking. If you want to take a swim, let's it's a good test of your enlightenment to see if you're really getting it. You get in that water, show everyone. You're not attached to being dry. Venerable?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well done. I never know what he's going to say. That's what makes Dhamma fun, right? Having a secondary teacher next to me or within our teachings helps the primary teacher know what he forgot. As Bhante said, the five senses, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our mind. Actually, there's 6. Mind would be the 6th, but the 5th one would be the tongue. In different order, it don't matter. And when we are mindful, right? See no evil, hear no evil, do no evil. When you guard your senses, the 5 doors, and subsequently guarding your mind, it will in fact yield great happiness. Do you have any questions so far? I think everyone just really likes it out here. This is really amazing. So today we will conclude. Oh, look at the cameraman. Oh, what's the... Oh, my phone just died. My last teaching, real quick. Bhante, if you don't mind handing me my GoPro real quick here. I promise I won't swim. I promise.
I think we want to see
Thank
you
you.
swim.
I was a lifeguard at the city of Clearwater, Ross Norton Pool. I saved 6 kids, actually. When I was, 18, 19. So, I'm encouraging you all to meditate, and if I know you guys are going to forget what's being taught today, that's why it's being recorded. And when the medias fail, like how all of our phones have failed out here, because I think there's a gazillion people on the other side using 5Gs, 4Gs, so we have this. And there was this profound story of the turtle and the fish in regards to enlightenment. You guys are like, huh? What do you mean? The turtle goes on dry land. The turtle tells the fish, listen, dude, I'm gonna go on dry land and I'm gonna be on vacation for a good minute. I'll come back and tell you all about it. The turtle gets up, off he goes, right? We've seen turtles cross the street before. Dry land, he goes and sunbathes, looks around. You try to pick him up, his head pokes back in. He's like, you better go somewhere. Turtle comes back into the water, tells the fish, dry land was amazing, man. I really enjoyed it. The fish is like, what? Dry land? What's that like? So if you were the turtle, how would you describe dry land to the fish, right? And how could they possibly get the point of dry land? It's not wet, it's how do you describe the road? How do you describe the grass to a fish that's never been out of the water? As it directly relates to enlightenment and nirvana, it's just that. Once you have tasted peace, and you have tasted a glimpse of nirvana, in Pali, nibbana, it's something that I can't even teach you. Have I had a glimpse of it? I did. I've shared it. It lasted 20 minutes. But in human time, it lasted 3.5 hours. When I took my training in Gainesville, and it was described as, when this becomes night, and there's little dots, the stars,
I was kind of there, kind of like the Homer Simpson, you know, when they're out in space. Remember the Homer Simpsons? I was there, but I knew I was there. I knew I was there. Uh-huh. But I'm like, whoa, it's really peaceful. No thoughts of the past. I lost sensation of my body. Couldn't feel, you know, that just, but I knew that I was there. And by the time I woke up, which is opening my eyes, from 11 to 2 in the morning, on or about 11, on or about 2, was that 3-4 hours, and I realized I walked on dry land. So sharing it with you, you would never, you're like, oh, well, good for you, Venerable. But if you keep at it, right, one day you will get to have a glimpse of it. And it is what's keeping me in robes still. And it is what's keeping me meditating still. Because had it not worked out, right? A monk can disrobe anytime and reordain no more than 7 times. Right? If you don't like it, go. What is the rule for disrobing? Tell one other person. I can tell him I'm disrobing tonight, and you know, Disney World tomorrow I go. So along the path you will have doubts. I keep on meditating, I don't get it, it's hard, it's difficult, I have too much going on. But at the end of the day, I like to give you one of the most memorable teachings, is that you keep at it and slowly you will inch closer and closer to it. And you know, you will taste it, trust me. With diligent practice, said the Buddha, you will achieve your goal with diligence. So I will conclude my Dhamma talk for tonight, as it is getting a little dark. I'm not sure if you guys have to check in or not, but if it gets just a little, another half hour, they will begin to turn on the lights. Maybe they turn the lights out there already for the Christmas. And I think great way to wrap up your night by taking a glimpse at the lights before you go back to your hotel. Okay.